The Church of St. Andreas adorns the adjacent mansion of the Holy Archdiocese of Athens, and is under the aegis of St. Philothea, as moreover is suggested by the same named street to which both such buildings have a facade. According to Demetrios Kambouroglu, the church was founded in the early Christian era. If one takes into consideration a plaque of Pentelic marble found in the course of the works for the building of the church, which bears an inscription of the 5th century BC, and given the prehistory of the site during the Classical era, the conclusion is inferred that the first church was erected on the old ancient Greek building, in fact of public character, according to information inscribed on the plaque. The Church of Agios Andreas features as one of the par excellence historical Christian churches of the Greek capital. And this is attributable to that its building phases do not only coincide with events which are important for the development of the city, but also as its history is integrally intertwined with the life, work and martyric death of Saint Philothea, 1522 to 1595, the founder of the original church. The history of the church starts in the 16th century, and in particular in 1550, when Saint Philothea, in the context of the foundation of a monastery dedicated to Agios Andreas, would integrate and renovate the pre-existing early Christian church, which was now being transformed into the Catholicon of the monastery. The site for the building of the monastery was none other than the paternal house of the saint. The monastery will assume the name Parthenones as, fulfilling the wish of its founder, was addressed to young poor girls who were learning these arts, which would enable them later on to enhance their living standard. The charitable character of the monastery of St. Andreas is evidenced also by the housing in the same complex of an orphanage, a hospital and a nursing home. Until 1821, the hermitage survived, which was located at the basement of the monastery, as also the weaving loom of St. Philothea. The hermitage was preserved also during the later erection of the new church of St. Andreas, and is located under its floor, with the Declaration of Athens, in 1834, as capital of the newly established Greek state, and until the first months of 1835, the monastery is being converted into a barrack. Until 1859, the now ruined monastery and the environs were at risk of losing their primary character, as they were destined either as a land lot for the erection of a clothing facility by the military service or for the erection of an educational facility by the Ministry of Education. At the end, the land lot passes on to the municipality of Athens, and in order to preserve the site, the goal was to erect there a charitable establishment. Thanks to the actions of the Metropolitan of Athens Germanos Kaligas, 1889 to 1896, the site passes on to the Church of Greece. At the location of the deserted monastery and its ruined buildings, the mansion of the Holy Archdiocese of Athens is being built, while, in its courtyard, and at the location of the old church, the present Church of St. Andreas is being erected. The 16th century Basilica of St. Andreas was located at the center of the monastery, which had pie shape. The new church is an apsed basilica. In detail, it is externally a triple-naved basilica, while internally the style of the Byzantine semi-complex four-column church was followed. The holy bema is formed by two piers, and the wall, at the eastern part, is formed by three apses. In May 1999, under Metropolitan Christodolis, Anastasios Margaritov undertook the conservation of the Byzantine religious paintings which had been damaged by time. Spiridon Benizelos, a descendant of the same named family to which Saint Philothea belonged, was the last commissioner of the monastery. In 1836, on his initiative, the portable icons of the church were surrendered to the Bishop of Attica and were transported to the Church of St. Irene, on Ialou Street. However, neither these images nor the sacred vessels were saved. However, in the same time period, we have the transport to the Byzantine Museum of the icons which decorated the Templon, namely of Jesus and Theotokos, which had been crafted in 1664 by Emanuel Tsanes. The museum will also devolve 2 segments from the murals which adorned the conch over the gate of the church. In these segments, John the Baptist is depicted bearing testimony on Jesus and the Lord walking on the waters of the Sea of Galilee. A part of the murals of the Holy Refectory of the monastery is the head of Saint Ekaterini, which is regarded as following the models of Cretan Byzantine religious painting, and which is on display also at the Byzantine Museum.